The Taliban are preparing to unveil a new government in Afghanistan after taking almost full control of the war-torn country. The Taliban official, Ahmadullah Muttaqi, said a ceremony is being prepared at the presidential palace in Kabul. Local news outlets have also said that an announcement on a new government is imminent. The Taliban's top figures, including the group's supreme leader, Haybatullah Akhundzadeh, are in Afghanistan. The group seized the capital and rest of the country in a matter of weeks last month. The US also pulled out its remaining troops from there before the August 31st deadline, ending its 20-year occupation of Afghanistan. So the Taliban are preparing to unveil a new government in Afghanistan after taking almost full control of the war-torn country. You got Taliban officials said the ceremony is being held or prepared at the presidential palace, and top figures from the Taliban, including their supreme leader, are in Afghanistan. To discuss that further, let's bring in Munir Ahmed, journalist and political analyst, joining us out of Islamabad. Munir, welcome. You know, the Taliban have on many occasions promised a new inclusive government in Afghanistan. Do you think they're going to live up to that?
They have promised that they will be having a very inclusive government in Afghanistan, and all the neighboring countries and the stakeholders of peace in the region have emphasized on the inclusive government. And Taliban have reiterated their promise, but still we see no such kind of the process where they could have inclusive government. And without any inclusive government, Taliban cannot run the Afghanistan government, and also they cannot be come into bilateral and multilateral relationships. But unfortunately, we don't see such kind of process where they could have engaged different stakeholders in the region. Please.
Yes. Munir, we've also heard from the Taliban. I mean, they've given many promises and pledges and statements that the new government will not be similar to the one 20 years ago. How do you think a new government in Afghanistan will look like with the Taliban in power?
We appreciate the present leadership of Afghan Taliban talking to different countries in their terms. For example, they have spoken to China in their terms. They have spoken to Iran in their language, and they have also assured the strategies that could favor Pakistan. And such is the condition that have promised with America and Britain and European countries if they pull out their forces from Afghanistan within due date. America has done it Monday late, and I believe afterwards they will have more lenient and more cordial relationship with America. On the other hand, Britain has also taken it very seriously and pulling out their troops. And I don't know, like if some of their troops remains in Afghanistan, but this is a very welcome thing that UK and US has pulled out their troops, and they have fulfilled the promises they had with Afghan Taliban. And recently we have seen UN Security Council omitting Taliban's name from the terrorist groups. They have termed already, like they do not expect some kind of extremist or terrorist behavior from the groups. So it is another kind of inclination that UN secretly or like without announcing it has accepted Taliban in Afghanistan. And we also have seen America's lenient view of Afghan Taliban. And thirdly, as we have seen their promises, they would have more human rights in Afghanistan, and they will not be strict as they were in their previous regime. And women have a right to work, and there will be education, and they also have a promise to give equal opportunities to women. That is a more what we should say is a welcome step of Taliban. But after forming the government, what would be their attitude towards their people and implementation of Sharia, what we call, they have their own interpretation of Sharia. So it would depend on them, how they keep their promises.
Mr. Ahmed, thank you very much indeed for your time and your thoughts. Munir Ahmed, the journalist and political analyst, joining us live out of Islamabad.